Hi there, my name's Warren Pohl and welcome to another episode of the 33 Shake vlog, which today is a Michelin-starred feast of gastronomic performance delights courtesy of none other than legendary chef and very handy marathon runner, Michel Roux Jr. I was lucky enough to go running with him not so long ago, and during the run he shared with me his outlook on training, performance, racing, life, and of course food and nutrition. And it was brilliant because what came across is that clearly he's a very driven guy. You can't win Michelin stars, you can't reach the top of the restaurant game, let alone survive and thrive there, unless you are a very forceful, self-starting, driven kind of a guy. He's got that drive, but what he also has is an enjoyment of the best things in life. So this is not, his ethos is not all about no pain, no gain. Sure, there might be some pain sometime, but you better have some enjoyment in there too, otherwise life's going to be unnecessarily rough. And really enjoyed what I learned from him, which is why we want to share it with you here today, because at 33 Shake, we're all about giving you the tools to make you the best possible athlete you can be, whether that's by sharing information like this on this vlog or on our podcast, on our blog, on the website, whatever it is, or by delivering you the very best in performance nutrition, which we do in store at 33shake.com. So with all that said, let's get into it. These are Michel Roux Jr.'s top 7 tips for not just athletic performance, but life performance. First one, run more, enjoy more, succeed more. Now, Michel's a runner. He's going to look at this as running. If you're a cyclist or a triathlete, just swap out the running for your discipline of choice. As he says, chefs notoriously have a bad diet. We're constantly picking, eating anything we can get our hands on. He said, I was no different. A lot of sweet stuff, a lot of bread, living on coffee and cigarettes. He said he was in that vibe. That's what he did, that's how he survived, that's how chefs were, probably still are. But he said he was suffering because of it. He had bad migraines, bad temper. He said I wasn't even managing my business as well as I could. So he gave up the cigarettes, cut out alcohol during the week, and started running again. Now, this was years and years ago. He has since run, I believe, 21 marathons. So we're going back some time. This is the old Michel Roux Jr. But within 3 years of making that change, he said, I was running my first marathon. The migraines had disappeared. I became calmer, and even my attitude to food changed. I love that he brought that up. Like, this is a guy whose entire life, his entire profession, his entire reputation rests upon his food. And yet, simply by taking up exercise again and becoming more mindful of movement and looking after himself, what do you know? He's able to be a better chef because of it. He also says, my appetite improved, my taste buds got better, I found I could think straight, everything. I mean, that's a massive, it's not even a double whammy, it's more than a triple, quadruple whammy. It's proof, again, that frankly, exercise is the best drug going. If it was a drug, people would be queuing around the block for it. And what these people don't realize is you can't just pop a pill, but you do just need to run around the block instead of waiting for some magic silver bullet to fix you. Exercise, awesome stuff. I'm sure you guys all know this already, but it's lovely to have it backed up that it has so many broader benefits. It's not just fitness, mental well-being, clarity, your thinking, your relationships, so many things get benefited. Get benefited, is that even a word? Will benefit, probably better. Michel Roux Jr., lesson 2, run to eat and eat well. Running can be hard. Suffering is part of the game sometimes. But you don't need to make your meal times a sufferfest too. And yes, I am looking at anyone out there who's pouring down some plastic, toxic, minging, powdery protein shake and gagging it back thinking it's going to be a benefit. When something tastes that bad, there's a reason. As Michel Roux Jr. said though, he said, when people ask me why I run, I give the same answer that I gave in my book, The Marathon Chef, which is well worth a look, by the way. I run because it makes me hungry. After all, after running, there should be some indulgence, and it needs to be something you've earned, he advises. Don't be shy of a little bit of what you fancy once you've got the miles done, which brings us to lesson 3. Chocolate and fat are fuel. These are his big favourite personal indulgences. It's fats and chocolate, although any chef or would-be chef out there who thinks they can maybe earn a little of his favour by sending him a box of Quality Street or other, let's just say, mainstream confectionery, you might want to think again. He says, I hate cheap confectionery. I hate cheap confectionery. I can't stand it. Far too sweet. When it comes to chocolate, I find the hit from a good piece of dark chocolate far better and more satisfying. My other great indulgences are fats, especially butter. I can eat butter like no one. I buy Brittany butter with salt crystals in it, and I easily get through a pack a week. And that's not cooking with it, that's eating it. I absolutely love the stuff. The point is, tasty and satisfying, you need good fats in your running diet, in your athletic diet. It's a great fuel. It is a great way to improve your body's ability to fuel from fat, which is going to be the bedrock of all serious aerobic performance. The more the body understands fat coming in, yes, this is fuel, the more the body is able to turn that into fuel. The body is very clever and adaptable. You've got to give it the right inputs though, and plenty of good fat in the diet is one of those. On that subject, low-fat foods, just avoid, because the fat came out and a load of crap went in to make it taste okay. Much the same with most processed gluten-free products as well. Separate story for a separate day. But seriously, you like fat? Get those good fats in. By good fats, we're talking about things like avocados, oily fish, high quality organic, whether it's butter or dairy if that's your thing. Like I think I already mentioned, the nuts and the seeds. Coconut oil is another great one. Just plenty of that good stuff. Lesson 4 from Michel Roux Jr. for enjoying your running, performing better in your running, and enjoying life while you're at it. Lesson number 4, start with real food. Unsurprisingly, for a man who's made his entire life's work the pursuit of excellence in food, he is all about real food. I don't like energy bars, he says. I find them sickly and horrible. For a 100-kilometer ultra, I didn't eat anything like that. For solid fuel, I went for dried fruit, bread, and cakes. And you would struggle to beat that. Obviously, get some good dried fruit, some good bread, some good cakes. But if you're doing serious endurance exercise, don't be shy of putting real food in your bag. It doesn't all have to be some sports nutrition gunk. All the ordinary sports nutrition products out there are sickly and pretty rank anyway. It's kind of why we started 33 Shake in the first place. It's like, how do we bring the power of all the awesome stuff in real food into the convenience of things we need as athletes when we're out on the go or when we're short on time after a workout. But yeah, whatever it is. I mean, if you like cheese sandwiches, hell, slice up a few cheese sandwiches and stick them in the back pocket of your cycling jersey. That's going to be pretty tasty halfway around your ride. Lesson 5, I love this one. Life is too short to drink bad wine. Michel Roux, he puts quality ahead of quantity every time, pretty much when it comes to all of this stuff, but particularly when it comes to wine. And if you did have quality on your mind, I think at the time at his restaurant, Le Gavroche, the most expensive bottle of wine was around 20-something thousand pounds. So you can go a long way when you want to put quality first. But he doesn't mind a drink before a race either. He said, running has never stopped me enjoying good wine. While I don't drink during the week, what I save there lets me really splash out at the weekend. And by that he means in terms of the quality of the wine he drinks, not the quantity. Life is too short to drink bad wine. The night of a marathon, you should always stick to your routine, which is super sound advice anyway. Whatever plan you have when it comes to your race weekend, that is the best possible plan you can have that day. You've done all the research and the work to get there. Absolutely no point, and a big risk in changing it based on what someone else says around you. There's going to be a lot of different plans out there on race day. Don't be swayed, stick to yours. Anyway, subject for another blog post or video probably. As Michel said, the night of the marathon, you should always stick to your routine. For me, that means a nice meal with pleasure and enjoyment, which certainly includes a glass of wine. It helps me relax, sleep well, and feel good. And there is some basis for this as well. Antonio Pinto, who won the London Marathon in 1992 and 1997, owned vineyards and swore by a glass or two over a meal after training. That's what Michel was explaining. He said, in other words, leading a normal life. Just because we're athletes doesn't necessarily mean we have to be like some weird hermit monks and be unsociable. If you fancy a drink, have a drink. If you fancy a bit of cake, have a bit of cake. Now, just in case you thought this was all a one-off, more recently, Beaujolais winemaker Francois Dain, he has won the UTMB. Let me get this right. 3 times. That is the toughest 100-mile mountain ultramarathon in Europe, possibly the world. And he's won it 3 times, and he owns and runs a vineyard and makes wine. I'm sure he doesn't mind a glass of wine either. That's not slowing him down. Lesson number 6 from Michel Roux Jr. for running in life: never try anything new on race day, which includes what you eat beforehand. Easy to put our race plan into like timings and kit and nutrition on course. Easy to forget something like dinner the night before. Well, particularly if it's a destination race, well, I'll just pick up something when I get there. This didn't work out so well for Michel. He said this is when he was running the Midnight Sun Marathon in Tromsø, in Norway, inside the Arctic Circle, because when that race kicks off at 10 o'clock at night, and it's during the time of year when it's light all night. Unique experience, beautiful place, but a weird time to be starting a race, so you're probably going to be having dinner earlier on and you'll need to get that down beforehand. He said the race was gorgeous, very strange as you start when your body's getting ready for sleep. And it wasn't, my run wasn't helped by an awful meal I ate beforehand. I went into a local restaurant, they were serving whale, and I thought, well, it's local, why not? So I was brave, but it was bloody horrible. Very dark red meat, almost the texture of beef, and intensely fishy. I kept burping it up during the run. Not good. Which brings us to lesson 7, and I think this is brilliant for any of us. Training is an escape. This backs up on something that we got with Jerry Duffy, a guy who did 10 Ironmans back to back, and you'll find him both on the on one of the earlier shows. If you look back through the earlier shows, one of the first shows we did, I think. Jerry's point was you get to do this, as in there are people out there who can't walk, there are people out there who don't even live in a country where they have the freedom, the economic ability, or the peace, frankly, to go out for a run. It's a luxury beyond what they can even imagine. Enjoy it. For Michel Roux, what he says is training is an escape. Training allows me to get away from work for a moment. I don't take my phone, no music. I just savor the moment, the sound of my breathing, the sound of the silence. It's pure escapism. So make sure you're enjoying it, because my God, we are lucky that we get to go out and train. So look, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks very much for watching. If you have anything you'd like to add, you want to share, or simply just want to connect with us anywhere, you will find us all over your favourite social media platforms and our email. You can get us on that as well. All of the details for that are in the show notes below. And remember that if you are looking for the very best in nutrition for your running, your cycling, or your triathlon, why not check us out? You'll find us at 33shake.com.